guys, and warm welcome back to the channel. My name is Grace if you're new here, and this is the Rusty Thicket. I'm a watercolor artist, but my most favorite thing in the whole world is 𝍊🋼🍊, and that's kind of what I focus everything on. So you see a little bit of everything on this channel, three-dimensional stuff, obviously watercolor works, and just nature and anything that I find to be part of that creative outlet for myself. If you're new here, hello and welcome, and I'm super happy to have you. I've kind of had a little bit of success in the last few months, and we are just over 900 subscribers, and I'm so excited. I'm really hoping to kind of bust into the new year with right at 1,000 subscribers, which I want to remind everybody about. My little, I guess, semi-viral video that had my watercolor set up. I have put another one of those together for our 1,000 subscriber giveaway winner, which when we hit 1,000, I will let you guys know all the details about that. But you are going to get the exact same setup that I have, just, you know, with all new materials, obviously. So I'm really excited to be able to offer you guys that. Just make sure you guys are subscribing and hitting that like and bell icon so that we can get us up a little bit further into the algorithm. Today, what I really wanted to talk about was how all of 2023 went, specifically for my events and my watercolor business, but I'm also going to splice in some of my school, like my classes that I taught this year, and just overall as like an entire business, how I've done. But yeah, so what I would like to start with is just kind of a numbers situation, but we're going to start with Tinseltown. If you've been following the channel for a little while, you know Tinseltown was the big fish, the great white whale, I guess, of what I wanted to do this year. Last year, it didn't go super well because it rained us out, and I mean monsoon rained us out. It was horrible. I did make money. I did make more than the event cost me, but of course, even with the makeup day that they offered a few days later, nothing really, none of the numbers I was hoping for, because I had been told previously that, you know, Tinseltown was it. And this year it did not disappoint. So if you've been following along, you know 𝍊🋼🍊 went really, really well for me. I made close to $800, or just at $800, if you don't include the booth fee and that kind of stuff. And then I thought that was going to be the best event because I just wasn't sure what Tinseltown was going to do, you know, and I was a little jaded and a little skeptical because of the year before, but it ended up being great. I think next year one of my goals is to double what I made at 𝍊🋼🍊, or whatever major fall event thing that I'll get to do. I'm assuming they would do another 𝍊🋼🍊. But that's really for the artists, so it was, you know, significant for me to do well at this one this year too, and I would just like to do even better next year. So Tinseltown, though, went great. We had a beautiful day. It was a little bit windy, a little crispy out. We had live entertainment, and my husband took some beautiful footage of everything getting all lit up, because they always do a great big Christmas tree right in front of the community center. And I didn't get to experience that, but I did have him film it for the video so you guys can see how beautiful that was. And then we had a great time just with all the vendors, and we were kind of back in the back, and they had strung up some lights, and it was just really nice, and we had a great time. I knew that last year, after Tinseltown, they did not offer any other events until like April. So I was a little bit worried after 𝍊🋼🍊, if Tinseltown didn't go well, what I was going to do with all of my items. But it turns out this year they had 2 more markets planned for post Tinseltown. And that was great for me because I am putting together mystery bags and things like that to kind of help push those last few things that I don't want to bring into the next year, because I have a whole new, not really like a whole new aesthetic. It's all still very much 𝍊🋼🍊, but I just have a different sort of vibe I'm going for. and I'll reveal all that later. But last year at Tinseltown, it rained us out, like I said, and I only made around $300. This year though, I took home more than $1,000. That includes having already taken care of the $125 fee, so it was like over $1,000 in pure sales. And I just am beside myself. That is the first time I've made over $1,000. It's better than 𝍊🍼 this year. I would love to see that doubled next year, but I'm just really tickled to death to have met a goal that I thought I was going to have to push to next year, because I just wasn't sure about it this time. But ultimately it ended up great. Like I said, I have 2 more events post that. I've already done last week's market day, and I did okay. Nothing crazy. I knew after Tinseltown it wasn't going to be a huge hit, but this coming Saturday on the, I think it's the 16th. Yeah, on the 16th, I have nothing but mystery bags, and that should help me wrap up this last little bit of the season and just kind of get everything out the door so that I can start all of my new fun projects and ideas that I have for this upcoming season / year. But that puts me into all of 2023 combined. So what I wanted to do is kind of run you through what I did, where I did the best, what I would do again, and that sort of stuff. So if I go back through my old records, I like to try and keep a little craft show tracker for each event that I do. I have shown it before on the channel, but it is available on my Etsy if you guys are interested in downloading that. It's only like $1. I'll put the link tree down below will take you right to my Etsy. But just going back through this and looking, I have realized there are quite a few things I will be doing differently next year. And this is why I take these notes, because I know I'm not going to be here on this base in Japan forever, but I need to make next year really count. It's my last full year here with all the seasons, and it really should be a good idea of how things will go stateside as far as like, just kind of nailing down certain aspects of the business that I want, like having things roll out seasonally and things like that. I don't believe I'm going to go off base next year unless it is to the oceanfront area where they do the art markets in Japan. I don't believe I'll be going to any other bases. It's just not worth my travel time, or their traffic is a lot less than 𝍊𝑋𝑼𝑛, because 𝍊𝑋𝑼𝑛 is like the biggest base and we have the most stuff, so more people are just automatically here. And then I've also decided June, July, and August are just far too hot for me, and I think what I'll be doing for that is kind of focusing more on teaching those 3 months, especially while summer is out and I can do some like summer camp type things. Because like Freedom Fest, I don't even know how hot it was that day, but I've never been more miserable in the heat. It was really, really bad, and it kind of made me want to just like not do it ever again. And I, thankfully got out of that, but I just wasn't sure this was for me that day. It was just particularly bad. So I won't be doing the 4th of July event again, because it's always outdoors, and I don't know why they can't have an indoor area, because they know how bad the heat and the humidity is here. But that's just a whole other can of worms that we're not going to get into. And I just didn't do all that well there. It was a $75 market. I made $281. It wasn't worth it. It just was not worth it. I didn't like the location they had us in, various things like that. And, a lot of the vendors and I had discussed it before, or well, mostly after it, but I think that is the one that kind of got me, fully aware that even just making a couple of $100, which used to excite me before, just isn't worth the heat and the trauma, if I'm honest. But maybe that's being a little bit extra. The best events were done by the Schilling Center, but they were in the cooler months. Both Spooky Town and even the Commissary Back to School Bash was pretty good, considering I didn't make a whole bunch of money, but they were free events, so I felt like that was good. I did okay at the other bases, but again, there just isn't enough traffic. I feel like they don't promote the same or have the ability to promote the same way that 𝍊🼼 does, even though I would say that the marketing on 𝍊🼼 could be done better also. You know, there's only so much I can do in my own personal Facebook, but the Bob Hope PTO did really, really well. I would actually love to do more PTO type stuff because, interestingly enough, kids are one of my #1 purchasers, which is never something I expected to begin with, but I'm very thankful for. And then of course Tinseltown and 𝍊🼼 was great. That one was run by Arts and Crafts. And yeah, I think the worst event I had the entire time was the Okinawa Resort, but it was kind of in the boonies and it was really far away from everything. And even though there were a lot of vendors, I just don't think people knew about it. And then, you know, you've only got a hotel of so many people who are going to be purchasing that kind of thing on their vacation. So I'm glad I did it. I liked having that kind of experience, but I probably won't do it again. If you guys go to events, how do you know when it's not worth it? Is it just money for you, or is it because you didn't have fun? Or, you know, what are the reasonings you wouldn't do an event again? Because I'm kind of basing most of this off of money just because I'm starting up, but I'm also running into just finding out that there are certain events that I can't handle because of the weather, or, you know, the location that they put us in, or, you know, other reasons like that. And I would just like to know what you all think in the comment section below. But yeah, I had a good time this year. I've made a ton of friends. Probably my favorite thing about this is starting or being a part of the Shop Oki local directory. If you don't know what that is, I'll put it in the link below. But basically all of the vendors have kind of come together and we help each other out, and we have just like a nice little community so that we can stay on top of the events together and nobody's kind of, you know, left in the dark on that sort of thing. If you're on Okinawa and you happen to be watching this as a SOFA member, who is the only people who can be part of this specific directory, I would love to know that. You can leave a comment down below and I can get you some more information if you're interested. So I did keep pretty good records. These aren't hard numbers because I'm still kind of going through some things, but I do like to take like short notes while I'm at the events, just to get ballpark ideas. And you know, when it's tax time, I'll go through and really make sure that everything's I's are dotted and T's are crossed and that sort of thing. But if we're looking at just like pure just notes from what I took, I think I had 15 events this year that I actually went to, which is a lot, but remember, it was my yes year. I told myself I would do everything that I could so that next year I knew what I did and did not want to do. Out of those 15 events, I made $6,700+ That's all take home. And then on my classes, as some of you guys know, I teach classes at the Arts and Crafts Center here on base, and it is a 1099, so I don't get any taxes pulled out of it or anything. And that number, that take-home number, was $3,400. And of course, I'll be paying taxes on all this, but I'm not sure what all that's going to come out to be. So I can give better numbers next year if you guys really want to know post-taxes exactly how things turned out. I also made about $45 on Etsy all year, and that's just with like really cheap $1 and $2 digital downloads. And then I made about $60 in private sales, which is usually what I consider classes outside of the Arts and Crafts Center, like if I go to a birthday party or something like that as a watercolor instructor. So all in all, if we count all that up, 6 and 9 plus some change, that's right around $10,000. Now, about 2,000 of this I did take and put back into the business. I bought quite a few things that obviously just to run it, watercolor, paper, and that sort of stuff. But I also bought a new printer on Black Friday. It's one of the Eco tanks, and I'm really excited about it. I have not set it up yet. I just haven't had the time. but I think it's going to be a game changer for a lot of my stuff next year. I should be able to make much nicer prints and things like that, so I think it was a good investment. This year I also upgraded my camera, which is not completely included in the $2,000 because I bought some of that with like my own personal money because I also use it as like a hobby camera too. And then I bought like, you know, furniture for the table, stuff to display things on. I bought a banner. I had t-shirts made, which you won't see until next year because that was like a last minute thing I did this year. You know, just like general things putting back into the business. Nothing really exorbitant or, you know, just a huge purchase except for maybe the printer. And even the camera is one of those things that I knew it would be part of the business, but not solely for it. So, you know, I could have just kept filming this on GoPros, but I think everything looks nicer, you know? But yeah, I think out of everything that I've spent this year, it was right around $2,000. I was very on top of that. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't, you know, going outside of my comfort zone when it came to doing taxes at the end of the year. So I saved a lot of that. Well, what's, you know, $2,000 out of about 10 grand. It's more than, or what's $8,000 out of 10 grand, you know, like that's more than your 30% you're supposed to really hold back. And I think ultimately, I mean, I saved mostly because I just didn't need to spend it. There's very few things I need right now. And a lot of this money is being saved for when we get back to the States and I decide what I want to do there. But I also know that $10,000 is not a lot. It's definitely an unlivable wage as far as that goes. And the way that I've had to save, there's no way I would have paid regular bills through the month. So just a quick shout out to my husband for allowing me to follow my dreams because this is everything I've ever wanted to do. And he has just been the hugest supporter, and it's been amazing to watch him be proud of me, I guess. It feels really good. And then obviously I have all of you guys to thank that even though YouTube's not monetized or anything yet, I'm just having a really good time sharing things and just trying to build a little community. It's been a lot of fun, and I never really saw myself doing things exactly like this, especially in another country. But you know, it's just been pure joy for the most part. There's been one or two things that, you know, running a small business or trying to start a small business can be very overwhelming, especially when you're the only person really truly doing the work for it, because that's, you know, how it usually goes. But I'm just having a great time. I'm really happy to see you guys here and enjoying the videos and things like that. Next year is going to be an absolute blast. But that's it today, you guys. I just really wanted to give you a recap for the year. I'm really happy with how things turned out. I think next year is just going to be bigger and badder and better, and I cannot wait. And we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. It would be just the absolute best way to start the new year, and I couldn't imagine doing all of this without my little community, my audience, because I think it's been a great outlet and a great way to kind of help me wrap my mind around how things are going. And yeah, I would just love to know what you think in the comment section below. Is $10,000 for 1 year on a base with, you know, an island in the middle of the ocean and no post office or online website pretty good? I kind of think it is, you know. Let me know what you think. But I will see you guys next week. That will be the last video. This will be the last video before we leave. So I hope I don't have any technical difficulties, but I do have plans to have those videos uploaded for you. So just, you know, if I don't see you for some reason, enjoy your holidays and your new year, and I will see you all soon. Bye, guys.